teaching experience for civil services. I teach international relations and internal security as well as analysis of the Hindu newspaper. And this session will help you to crack prelims and mains examinations. And definitely my session, that is today's YouTube class, that is daily news analysis, will make you understand the importance. I will make you understand the importance of the keywords and the key phrases. So definitely I will be emphasizing on the keywords and the key phrases, which will be very useful for you in regards to the prelims point of view. So the keywords and the key phrases. So throughout my lecture in today's session, I would be emphasizing on the keywords and the key phrases from the news, from the newspaper, wherein we will identify the factual and analytical questions for the prelims examination. So therefore, you will be benefited by the actual analytical questions, identifying by emphasizing on the keywords and the key phrases. And not only that, I will make you understand and I will make you get into the mode of imbibing the keywords and the key phrases in your answer writing. That is for the mains examination. So in your answer writing, you have to make sure that you imbibe the keywords and the key phrases. Why? Because once you imbibe the keywords and the key phrases, your answers are very precise and concise. Rather than having a lengthy one, you will be to the point by using the keywords and the key phrases, wherein the UPSC will be demanding for you from the civil servant aspirant the keywords and the key phrases in your answer writing, that is for the mains examination. So thereby, by imbibing the keywords and the key phrases in your answer writing in the mains, you will score higher marks in the mains examination. So therefore, my session will definitely make you get into the process of helping you to crack the prelims and mains both for 2020 as well as 2021. And today's session is in regards to the daily news analysis, that is 10th of July 2020, the daily news analysis of the Hindu newspaper. And I reiterate once again, I re-emphasize once again, my tagline, that is Sandeep Bhushan tagline, is emphasizing on the keywords and the key phrases. Throughout my lecture, I will be emphasizing the importance of the keywords and the key phrases, which are very important for the prelims as well as mains examinations, and thereby you will be scoring more marks in the prelims and mains examinations. So do understand the importance of the keywords and the key phrases. And before I get into the topic, that is today's topic, I would say very good morning to everyone who is in the live and also in the live session. Very good morning to all. So I would say very good morning to Manju, Revant, Nandita Tepa, Rajesh Vandekari, Lokesh Chandra. So Manju, I think your first time you have joined. Rajesh, I think Vandekari, Rajesh also have joined for the first time. Very good morning to you both. And Lokesh says, what about interview? Very good question. So definitely once you are thorough with the keywords and the key phrases, and I'm saying it very clearly, these keywords and the key phrases will help you to be more easy or more comfortable in the interview also, to be more comfortable in the interview. So definitely the keywords and the key phrases will definitely help you for scoring more marks in the prelims and mains, as well as being comfortable by using the keywords and the key phrases. I mean, you are trying to make sure that to the interviewer that you are feeling comfortable in the interview. So definitely it will be useful for everyone. Ashwin Ravi Kumar, Ramu, Rajat Kumar, Shatish, Garga Shashi Kumar, Sai Mahesh, Suresh Raman, Shatish. Very good morning to everyone. Very good morning to everyone. And now I'll get into the topic. That is today's newspaper, which talks about India seeing green shoots of economic revival. Who is saying this? Our Prime Minister of India, Narendra Modi, is saying this. And Narendra Modi, Prime Minister of India, Narendra Modi, has held a conference. He has held a conference. Where he has held a conference? It is India Global Week. So this is very important. I am saying this keyword is important. Where did the Prime Minister Narendra Modi talk about the India's economic revival. India's economic revival is at the Indian Global Week, and this has been organized by whom? By the London-based NRI Group, London-based NRI Group India Incorporation. So this Indian Global Week, wherein our Prime Minister Narendra Modi has spoken about Indian economy. He has spoken about it, and it was organized by the London-based NRI Group Indian Incorporation. And he has spoken about Indian economy. He has spoken about Indian economy. So we will look at what did he talk about Indian economy. So he has definitely focused on the revival of Indian economy. Revival in the sense improvement of India's economy. Okay, Ramu Tumpa Pala says that please tell me slowly. Okay, fine, definitely, no, I will definitely consider your point, Ramu. I will definitely go ahead with being little bit slow. Nothing to worry, I will go ahead with that, definitely. And Lokesh says that, and Kasa Mahesh also have joined. Very good morning to you, Kasa Mahesh. Lokesh Chandra says your personal telegram is not opening with the link that is given yesterday. No, it is. Okay, I'll check once again. Lokesh. So, our Prime Minister Narendra Modi has attended the India Global Week conference. Fine. And it was organized by the London-based NRI Group company. And in that, the Prime Minister has spoken about the Indian economy. He has spoken about the Indian economy. Why did he talk about Indian economy? He did talk about the revival of Indian economy. Revival in the sense, the progress, the recovery of Indian economy. And he says that India is the world's most open economy. India is the world's most open economy. That means in regards to the liberalization, privatization, globalization. So Prime Minister Narendra Modi is talking about the revival of Indian economy. So when he is talking about the recovery of Indian economy, he is asking the entire world or to the foreign investors that India is going ahead with making sure that India is the world's most open economy. That means liberalization, privatization, globalization, India does consider about it, and it is making sure that India is the world's most open economy. And he also made a point saying that India has a spirit to achieve. So Indians has a spirit to achieve more when it is actually impossible. So definitely Indians have high spirit. Indians have high spirit. High spirit in the sense like we will never give up. We are ready to fight and we will grow. We will grow. So that is what the Prime Minister Narendra Modi is definitely talking about. Making sure that India is the world's most open economy. India has the highest spirit, and India is inviting the foreign investors. India is inviting the foreign investors to come and invest in India. Not only that, India is laying a red carpet. Red carpet means it is welcoming the foreign investors or the global companies. Please do understand, India is going ahead with laying a red carpet. Red carpet in the sense it is welcoming the foreign investors so that the global economies come and establish in India. So that they come, foreign investors, global economies or the global companies come and invest in India. So definitely it is going ahead with the red carpet. Red carpet in the sense welcoming the foreign investors in India. Why? Because Narendra Modi says that India is the world's most open economy, and it is India's economy is reviving. And he also made it very clear that along with all this, he has also made it very clear that Mr. Modi has also said that India has made, that is our country has made large of gains, or it has gone into showing much of importance or progress in total financial inclusion. So India has gained or progress. India has gained or progress in what? India has gained or progress in total financial inclusion. What do you mean by total financial inclusion? That means every household, or every each and every person in India is having a bank account, So that is what our Prime Minister is talking about, total financial inclusion. These are all important keywords. Whatever Modi has spoken about, you need to be very clear that what he is talking about. So our Prime Minister has said that India has gained or progressed in what? First one is total financial inclusion. That means each and every household and each and every individual of the household is having a bank account. So total financial inclusion. And then record housing and infrastructure construction, that is in regards to the housing, we have gained in housing and infrastructure construction. So that means infrastructure construction. So definitely in regards to the development, that is the roads and building, development, infrastructure and housing. So definitely India has developed in that sense. And also in regards to the ease of doing business, that means whenever the foreign investors are coming to India, they will come and invest in India because ease of doing business from the foreign investors coming and investing in India will be very easy. That means whatever the rules and regulations are very strict, it will move away. They are taking away all the strict rules and regulations, and they will create a very good atmosphere for the foreign investors to come and invest in India. So ease of doing business for whom? For the foreign investors. And then tax reforms. So what tax reforms are we talking about? That is GST, what the government has come up. So the four mere importance, the gains what the government of India has done is total financial inclusion, housing and infrastructure, ease of doing business and tax reform. So these four keywords you need to always consider, and this is very very important because it is been said by our Prime Minister Narendra Modi when he has spoken at the Indian Global Week conference about India's economy. And Mr. Modi also has said that India has talent force. That means he is talking about India's Indian youth. So he is talking about Indian youth is having talent. Indian youth is a talented youth. That is what he is talking about. And then he is also saying that not only talent, but we have the ability to reform. So Indian youth or young India has the ability to reform and rejuvenate. Rejuvenate in the sense to bounce back. I mean, to whatever situation has happened because of the COVID-19, because of the economy, what it has come down, slowed down of the economy, we will again bounce back. That is what he is talking about, the Indian youth or young India. So he is making it very clear that young India is talented, young India is having the ability to reform, and it is also rejuvenating. That means it will bounce back. And not only this too, he is also making it very clear that once the foreign investors come and invest in India, what will happen is not only the economic revival of the country happens, that is not only the economic revival of India, but global revival. Please do understand, this is very very important keyword. So not only India's economy revival, not only revival of India's economy, but also global economy revival also takes place. So please do understand how our Prime Minister Narendra Modi is talking, saying that whatever we are doing is India's economy is reviving, India's economy is recovering. So when we are asking the foreign investors to come and invest in India, what he is saying is we have the talent, we have the ability to reform, we have the ability to bounce back, we have the tax reforms, we have the infrastructure development. So all this will what? It will create a global economic revival. Please do understand. It will create the global economic revival. So what he is trying to mention is not only India's economy will revive or bounce back, but the global economy will revive. Because of the COVID-19 pandemic situation, the global economy is totally down. But what he is saying is because when the foreign investors come and invest in India, the global economy will revive. And the Mr. Modi has also concentrated on the other issues, that is, he has concentrated on agriculture. Please do understand, this is very important. He has concentrated on defense. These are very very important because this is what you need to focus at. And he has also concentrated, or he has also spoken about science and technology and MSME. MSME in the sense micro, small and medium enterprises. Micro, small and medium enterprises. Please do understand. So our Prime Minister has focused on the agriculture, on the defense, on the science and technology and the micro, small and medium enterprises. And the other news is that our finance ministry has come up with a report, has published a report that is called as macroeconomic report. Our finance ministry has come up with a report, and that report is called as the macroeconomic report. And when this macroeconomic report has come up, it was come up in the year June 2020. And then Prime Minister says that definitely there is a revival in the India's economy because of the report which has been published by the Ministry of Finance, published by the Ministry of Finance, saying that our economy is increasing. And what are the indicators, what are the parameters that the macroeconomic report published by the Ministry of Finance is taking into consideration? Indicators, what are the indicators? That is electricity and fuel consumption, and intrastate movement of goods. That means goods moving from one state to another state, intrastate movement of goods. And retail financial transaction, that means whatever transaction is happening in the retail industry, so definitely that is growing, that is picking up. So definitely what you need to understand for prelims point of is macroeconomic report which has been published by the Ministry of Finance. This is the keyword which is very important for prelims point of view. And what are the indicators taken into consideration for the macroeconomic report to be published by the Ministry of Finance? That is electricity and fuel consumption, inter and intrastate, within the state, and what you say from one state to another state, the movement of the goods, and the retail financial transaction. So this is picking up. So look at it, what is been mentioned in the entire scenario, and this, the macroeconomic report which has been published, I'm saying published, please to understand, there is two words, published by Ministry of Finance published, but authored in the sense they are the one who have actually designed it. Who has authored it? Published is one, authored is one. Authored in the sense they have actually got into the preparation mode. Who is that? Which department? Department of Economic Affairs. And this is again very important for prelims. So the macroeconomic report has been published by Ministry of Finance, but authored, but designed, or it has looked into by the Department of Economic Affairs. And the Modi also has spoken about Atmanirbhar Bharat. So what do you mean by Atmanirbhar Bharat? It is self-sustaining and self-generating. Self-sustaining and self-generating. And this is very important again for prelims point of view. Atmanirbhar Bharat campaign, because this is again very important for prelims point of view. So the Modi has said that Atmanirbhar means what? The government of India is focusing on protecting the indigenous manufacturing units, or else the Indian manufacturing sector or companies. So what the Prime Minister want through the Atmanirbhar Bharat is, he wanted to protect whom? Indian manufacturing units. Not only what you say, he is inviting the foreign investors, but at the same time he wanted to protect the Indian manufacturing sectors or the companies. And thereby he says that self-sustaining in the sense independent, and we have to be self-generating. Why we have come up with the Atmanirbhar Bharat? Because of the COVID-19 situation. COVID-19 situation, when entire world is the global supply chain system has come to a stand halt. So because of the COVID-19 pandemic situation, global supply chain, that is about the goods, products or goods, imports and exports have been badly hit, or there is not much of imports and exports which is being taken up because of the COVID-19 pandemic situation. And because of that, what our Prime Minister says is we need to protect our Indian manufacturing companies or units. Fine. At the same time, he is saying that we need to develop within, we need to grow within. First, we need to develop, that is being local. He was focusing about local manufacturing. He said be vocal about local. That means he is saying you emphasize on the local manufacturing units, local Indian manufacturing units. That is why this concept Atmanirbhar Bharat. But there is one more critics against it. That means many of the people are saying that when you are talking about local manufacturing, that means you do not want the globalization, liberalization or privatization. So what the government has said, Modi has said, is we are not for the protectionist approach. Protectionist approach in the sense we are actually supporting the globalization, liberalization, privatization, but at the same time we wanted to protect our local manufacturing units or companies or Indian manufacturing units or domestic manufacturing units. And this picture is Atmanirbhar Bharat, and these are 5 pillars. Please do understand this 5 pillars. This is very important. 5 pillars. What are the 5 pillars? First is economy, second one is infrastructure, third one is systems, that is science and technology, fourth one is demography, that means looking at the kind of population we have, that is young India. And then demand, what is the demand in regards to the power and supply, that was I was talking about global supply chain. So definitely Atmanirbhar Bharat is of 5 pillars of self-reliant in the sense wherein we are within India itself we are self. So this is very important. So there is focus on land, labor, liquidity and loss. So 4 L's also our Prime Minister Mr. Modi has spoken about, that is land, labor, liquidity and loss. Land, labor, liquidity and loss. So Atmanirbhar Bharat is very important for prelims point of view. Please do understand prelims point of view. So I have focused on many keywords and the key phrases. Now we'll get into the next topic. Next news, wherein the government is watching WHO alert on airborne spread of virus. So this I have explained yesterday, saying that 236 scientists across 30 countries, from 30 countries 236 scientists have written an open letter. To whom? To WHO. Why they have written a letter to the WHO saying that the COVID-19 disease is airborne disease. Airborne in the sense airborne transmission. Airborne transmission in the sense that the possibility of the SARS-CoV-2 or the COVID-19 can happen. That means the virus can stay in the air. The virus can stay in the air. I've discussed this, but once again we will look at, because 32 countries, 32 countries or close to 32 countries, yes, absolutely Lokesh, 32 countries. And then this is very important, that earlier we thought that it will not be in the air, but it will settle down on the, what do you say, on the floor, on the surface. Earlier there was a concept that the SARS-CoV-2 virus will settle on the surface, but now they say it will be in the air. It will be in the air, and that is what 236 scientists from the 32 countries have written an open letter saying that there is an evidence that the SARS-CoV-2 is a airborne transmission, and when the WHO has looked at it, so definitely now the Union Health Ministry, that is Indian government, Union Health Ministry is closely watching what? The dynamic evolution of the virus. And please do make a note of this keyword. What is the keyword is dynamic evolution of the virus. Dynamic evolution of the virus, that the World Health Organization is also looking at very keenly about the virus could be the airborne diseases. And then ministry, that is Union Health Ministry, has also come up with the age-wise COVID fatalities. Fatalities in the sense deaths. Fatalities means deaths. So this is also important because we need to understand which age group is actually being affected in India because of the COVID-19 disease. So the one who are above 45 years, 25% of population above 45 years, in that 85% death cases are taking place. In that 85% death cases are taking place. Please do understand, above 45 years, and above 60 years who are 10% population above 60 years are having the deaths, that is 53%. So many of them who are being having deaths because of the COVID-19 is above 41, but the senior citizens above 60% is only 53%. So definitely this is an information what the health ministry has come up yesterday saying that this is what it is. And India is currently what is that in regards to the entire India, the fatality or the death rate in India is 2.75 percentage. 2.75 percentage. So this information you need to know because age group is also very important. So that you can mention while you're writing in the mains a short notes how the COVID-19 has impacted the different age groups in India and what are the reasons. You should also mention in the mains examination. And you have another news which talks about country of origin tag a must. So what is a must? Country of origin. That means from which country the origin. That means where actually the product or goods are manufactured. Origin of the product or the goods where it is manufactured is a must. Who is saying that? Ramvilas Paswan. Who is Ramvilas Paswan? He is the Union Minister of Consumer Affairs. So he is making it very clear, or he has sent a direction to whom? E-commerce portal. That is the website, e-commerce website. The Union Minister of Consumer Affairs has sent a reminder to them that they should ensure the country of origin. Why country of origin is now very important? Because as India has banned almost 50 plus apps, Chinese apps India has banned, and India is going ahead with Atmanirbhar Bharat, that is local manufacturing. So at this situation, when India is focusing on the local manufacturing and it is wanting to ban the China made goods, when it is wanting to ban the China made goods, the Union Ministry of Consumer Affairs, Ramvilas Paswan, has sent a reminder to the e-commerce portal. This is important. Why? He is saying that you need to ensure that the country of origin, that means that product which is being sold in the e-commerce, that is in the e-based e-commerce, that is through the internet shopping, whatever is happening, that country of origin has to be mentioned. Manufacturing of that particular product or the goods have to be mentioned. That is why he is making it very clear. And who is actually the look into it? That is the department, this one, Department for Promotion of Industry and Internal Trade. This is very important key phrase. You can directly put it in your mains answer. That is in regards to the banning of Chinese goods, what the government of India has taken the measures, taken the steps to make sure that it is focusing on the e-commerce, internet business. So it has made that the one who is going ahead with the business, e-commerce business, they have to ensure the country of origin, and this, that is the Union Ministry of Consumer Affairs had held meetings along with the Department for Promotion of Industry and Internal Trade. This is very, very important. Department for Promotion of Industry and Internal Trade. This is very, very important keyword at the key phrase. Why? Because this will be very, very important for economy prelims point of view. Economy prelims point of view. And they have held discussions or the meeting with 30 e-commerce players. So definitely there is a meeting which is going on with the Department for Promotion of Industry and Internal Trade with the 30 e-commerce players who would be foreign investors, that they have to mention the country of origin. Why? Because India is going ahead with the ban of the China made products, and India wanted that made in India products to be sold in India. That is Atmanirbhar Bharat, local, be vocal about local. And then the ministry, that is the Consumer Affairs Ministry, has invoked, that means it has brought in what? Legal metrological packaged commodities rules 2011, and this is very, very important key phrase for prelims as well as mains, because while you are writing the mains, you do mention about what the ministry has taken the steps. What the ministry has taken the step is by invoking, by bringing in what? The legal metrological rules 2011. This is very, very important. Legal metrological rules 2011, and by this what it is that the e-commerce businessmen, they have to declare what? They have to declare the name, package name, the address of the manufacturer, and the name of the commodity, the net quantity, the month and year of the manufacturing, MRP, and consumer care details. So all these have to be mentioned as per legal metrological packaged commodities rules 2011. Please do understand, this is very, very important, because he might give you, the UPSC might focus on the legal metrological. He might say that which among the following are incorrect, which among the following are incorrect in regards to the legal metrological packaged commodities rules 2001, 1, 2, 3, 4, he might mention. So that they have to declare which is mandatory. Mandatory in the sense compulsory. The manufacturer, that is the e-commerce business, whoever are doing, those manufacturers have to mention the name of the package, address of the manufacturing, name of the commodity, net quantity, month and year of manufacturing, the MRP, and the consumer care details. Consumer care. Why? Whenever there is any kind of, what you say, issue, the consumer can file a case in the consumer forum. In the consumer forum, the consumer can file the case in the consumer forum. That is why the consumer care details has to be provided. And not only this, there were also few other being added in the 2017, that is e-commerce websites such as Amazon and Flipkart, because you all are very, very important. Okay, Ravli D says sir is meant by metrology. Metrology in the sense, okay, metrology in the sense weights and measurements. Weights and measurement. Metrology means weights and measurement. Ravili or Rahul. Metrological, legal metrological packaged commodities rules 2011 means, metrology means the weights and measurement. That means what is the net quantity and measurement, all that comes under this legal metrological registration, that is legal metrological packaged commodities rules 2011. And they have to declare the country of the origin also, because we are banning, India want to ban the Chinese products. Fine. That is why in 2017 the e-commerce websites, that is Amazon, Flipkart, had to display the country name, which country the product has been manufactured, the origin, which country. That is very important. That is very important. And then if they are not mentioning, you have what you say fine for it. First fine will be 25,000. If they are not still what you say correcting themselves, the second fine will be 50,000. And if they are still not following it, then there would be a jail term for 1 year. So this is very important from economy point of view. This is very important from economy point of view for prelims as well as mains examination. And the other news what we will look at is from today's newspaper is India to take a call on Australia's inclusion in Malabar exercise. So what we will focus is today the Malabar exercise. What is Malabar exercise? It is an exercise. It is an exercise that is the naval exercise. It is the naval exercise. So it is an annual war game. It is an annual war exercise. So it is exercise, naval exercise. So this Malabar exercise is a naval exercise between which countries? Three countries. Which are they? That is India, Japan and then US. It is between India, Japan and US. Fine. But Australia wanted to be the observer member. Australia is not part of it. According to the Malabar exercise, which three countries naval exercise takes place in Indian Ocean or Indo-Pacific Ocean? Indo-Pacific Ocean or Indian Ocean, Indo-Pacific Ocean. The naval exercise, that is India, Japan and US. Three countries come together and then they go ahead with the naval exercise, that is annual war games. Fine. And it is Australia is wanting to be the member of it, but India is not really accepting it. India is very reluctant. Reluctant in the sense India is not accepting Australia's inclusion in the Malabar as an observer country. Please do understand. But earlier, but now it is open. Earlier, Australia wanted to be part of the Malabar exercise. Australia wanted to be part of the Malabar exercise with India, Japan and US. But India was not ready for accepting Australia to be part of the Malabar exercise last 3-4 years. But now India is open. India is accepting now Australia to be the observer country in the Malabar exercise. Please do understand. Now India is accepting Australia to be the part of the Malabar exercise as an observer country. Fine. But from earlier itself, Japan and US wanted Australia to be part of the Malabar exercise. And this India is now open for Australia to be part of the Malabar exercise at the midst in the sense at the time wherein India and China are going ahead with the standoff face off along the LAC, which this is the biggest crisis what we are facing. What India and China are facing along the LAC, the border issue is the biggest crisis since 1974. Because it was in 1974 wherein four Assam rifle soldiers were killed in Tawang district of Arunachal Pradesh, and Chinese troops have entered in through Tulung Pass of Tawang districts in Arunachal Pradesh, and then the face off has killed 4 Assam rifles, and that after that we have seen in 2020 20 brave Indian soldiers were killed. So that is why it is the biggest crisis in the last 5 decades. Almost close to 46, 45, 46 years. So now India is open for Australia to be part of the Malabar exercise. And if it is now part of the Malabar exercise, Australia, so what will happen is the militarization of the Quad coalition will take place. What is this militarization? This will take place. Militarization of Quad coalition. What do you mean by Quad? Quad is nothing but the four countries, that is India. Quad is nothing but the four countries, that is India, US, Japan and Australia. You called as quadrilateral. 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 Quadrilateral in the sense four. So which are the four quadrilateral countries? India, US, Japan and Australia. And now if Australia is accepted as the part of the Malabar exercise, then the militarization of the Quad coalition takes place. And once this takes place, then India will have its major shift in the Indo-Pacific plains or Indo-Pacific Ocean. And definitely now we will look at for the prelims point of view. Very, very important for the prelims point of view is when did the Malabar exercise began? It began between, what do you say? It began as a bilateral naval exercise. It began as a bilateral naval exercise in the year 1992, in the year 1992 between India and US. And then again this is first, and again the multilateral naval exercise. It started in the year 2017. Multilateral in the sense two or more than two. So then it was India, US and Japan. So this is very important. That is Malabar exercise started in the year 1992 as the bilateral, by in the sense two, bilateral naval exercise between India and US, and again it emerged, it growed as a multilateral naval exercise in the year 2015 of again Japan joining the bilateral, that is India, US and Japan, and now it will be quadrilateral. That means quadrilateral militarization of the exercise will take place if Australia will be part of the Malabar exercise. So this is very, very important. Malabar exercise in the Indo-Pacific is very, very important for the prelims point of view. Yeah, Ravali says, or Rahul says, with this coalition, will India get any benefit? Definitely, India will get benefit because look at this. Look at this point. Which point? This one. The inclusion of Australia in this exercise would mark a major shift for India-Pacific plans. What are India-Pacific plans? What are the plan here? Definitely, India wanted to put a check on China. How? Because China's influence in China, South China Sea, and not only South China Sea, India wanted to put China's influence in the Indian Ocean. Please do understand, Indian Ocean. So South China Sea and Indian Ocean, and also in the Pacific region. So definitely India would have its plan in the Indo-Pacific Ocean. Indo-Pacific Ocean. Are you getting it, Rahul or Ravali? Yes. Okay, fine. Harika Yadav says, sir, please tell us, can we expect daily live classes here? I mean, ask ASK channel. Yes, definitely. This is live. Harika Yadav, first of all, very good morning to you, Harika Yadav. And this is the daily live morning 7:30 a.m. daily, Monday to Saturday. You will have daily morning 7:30 a.m. I will be taking the class. That is me, the Sandeep Bhushan Tumala, the faculty will be taking the class, that is daily news analysis. We will go ahead with the morning daily 7:30 a.m. and you will be definitely benefited by the AKS IAS Academy, which is providing the daily news analysis. You will be definitely benefited. And Harika says, I really admire your way of teaching. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Harika. And Ravali says, yes, sir, I'm Ravali itself. Okay, Ravali, very good morning to you, Ravali. After almost, what do you say, 2016, so 2016 plus now 4 years. After 4 years, Ravali, very good morning to you. Very good morning to you. Okay, fine. Now I'll move to the point. So this is very, very important in regards to the Malabar exercise. And whatever I am teaching is both in regards to the macro and micro level strategy. I am taking up this strategy. This is very, very important. Many of them do not follow it, but I will make sure that you are into this mode. You are into this mode. That is macro and micro. That is macro is mains, micro is prelims. So definitely I will make you understand the importance of keywords and the key phrases, and this is my tagline, that is emphasizing on the keywords and the key phrases, which will be very, very important for prelims as well as mains. And you will definitely be having much of benefit from the AKS IAS Academy daily news analysis. For sure, I'm saying. And Yuvraj Shekhar Shakti has also joined. Very good morning to you, Yuvraj. Singhu Subbarao has also joined. Very good morning. Economic. I didn't understand that. Okay, Lokesh, how much time it takes to complete the session till? Okay, oh, fine. Definitely no problem. Don't worry about it, Lokesh. I will. That is what I have said. Macro and micro level. Micro level, don't worry about it. I will definitely go ahead. And then you have another news which talks about big flap, that is golden bird wing is largest butterfly. So this is again very important in regards to the ecology and environment from prelims point of view, or biological diversity, or from biological diversity. So this is very important, this news. So what is this news is that almost Himeshkar, 1 hour it will take, maximum 50 minutes to 1 hour, 1 hour, 50 minutes to 1 hour, 45 to 1 hour, depending upon it. And now they have come up with a new butterfly, that is which is the largest butterfly. Please do understand, this is again very important. India's largest butterfly now is Himalayan butterfly. Earlier it was the southern bird wing. Please do understand, earlier, that means earlier the largest India's butterfly was southern bird wing, which is in the eastern or western Ghats, in the Western Ghats. So definitely the southern bird wing was the India's largest butterfly for almost 88 years. But now a new butterfly has been, what you say, identified, that is called as golden bird wing, which has been identified in Uttarakhand. In Uttarakhand. This is again very important for prelims point of view, in Uttarakhand, and that is called as Himalayan butterfly, and it is now India's largest butterfly. Earlier was southern birdwing, which was almost for 88 years. Now the Himalayan butterfly is the largest, and now this butterfly, that is the golden bird wing, is having how much? The wingspan of it is 194 millimeter, and this is very important for prelims, because they might ask you in the which among the following statements are correct or incorrect. So they would give you the golden butterfly or golden birdwing, which is India's largest butterfly, have its wingspan of which among the following? 1, 2, 3, 4. They might give 190 mm, 192 mm, 195 mm, 194 mm. So it is 194 mm. So please do understand, this is 194 mm, and this is marginally larger than the southern. So the southern was 190 mm, and this Himalayan butterfly is 194 millimeter, and then the southern was 190 mm. Just 4 mm increase is the new one, that is Himalayan butterfly. And the one who has identified the southern bird wing was William Harry Evans. This is again very important for prelims. William Harry Evans has, he is called as lepidopterist. Lepidopterist, that means a person who studies or collects the butterflies. He has recovered in 1932. That is the southern bird wing, which its size is 190 mm. He has identified in the year 1932, and then the golden bird wing was identified now in 2020. This is very important for prelims point of view. I am saying when you are taking for prelims for ecology and environment and biodiversity, this is very important. And the male, the female is, the female is 194 mm, the largest one, and the male is 106 mm. This is again important. And it was identified or recorded in Didihat in Uttarakhand, and the largest, the female is in the Uttarakhand, the largest male is in the Shillong. This is again very important, in Wankar Butterfly Museum of Shillong. So which is the one which has been identified and recorded? It is the largest male, largest male. But the largest female was identified in Uttarakhand. In Uttarakhand. Largest male was identified in Shillong. Largest female was identified in Uttarakhand state. Uttarakhand state. And there are other three species called as Biasa polyctus, which is 98 mm, Biasa dasarda 96 mm, and then Papilio bainor 78 mm. And the smallest one is called as quacker. Smallest one is called as quacker. What is this quacker? It is just 18 mm. So the golden bird is 194 mm, and then the now southern bird is bird wing is 190 mm, and the smallest is the quacker, it is 18 mm. Please do understand, these are all very very important for prelims point of view. And why I am saying this, this is important. Tridus aequus, this is biological name of the butterflies. So they might give you in the math the following, the common name, and then biological name, common name and then biological name, 1 2 3 4, and then you have to match the following, there might be a question. That is why I am emphasizing on the biological name. Tridus aequus is the male golden birdwing, and the other species is the common windmill called as Biasa polyctus, and great windmill is called as Biasa dasarada, and then common peacock is called as Papilio bainor, and then the smallest, that is quacker, is called as Neopithecobus zalmora. This is very very important. Biological names are very very important for prelims point of view in regards to the ecology and environment or biological diversity, or biological diversity, part of ecology. Yes, definitely. So this is very very important. So have made sure that you, so this we have looked at the economy point of view, and then also in regards to the welfare schemes we have looked at. So definitely again for prelims point of view we are focused on this point. And this is again science and technology, the virus, science and technology prelims point of view, the WHO. Again this is in regards to the economy, again especially focusing on e-commerce business, that is the origin, country of origin, legal meteorological packaged commodities rules we have looked at. And this is again in regards to the current affairs, in regards to the international current affairs, international relations current affairs. And this again ecology and environment. So look at how have made sure that it is very important for you in regards to the prelims point of view and also mains point of view, emphasizing on the keywords and the key phrases. And then definitely I would say thank you very much, and then all the best for you, and then definitely success should prevail for you, and success will definitely happen when you have the efforts. You will put in the effort, that is the individual efforts have to be put in. APPSC groups have joined. Very good morning to you, APPSC, and my class starts at 7:30, and then it will take almost 1 hour, 50 minutes to 1 hour, depending upon the topic. And then please go ahead with liking the video, share the video, and then you can also visit the AKS IAS Academy through the www.aks.ias.com, and then the telegram link is t.me aks.ias academy, and then you also have my telegram link. You can follow this from here, t.me slash Sandeep Bhushan SBT, t.me slash Sandeep Bhushan SBT. This is my telegram link, wherein if you wanted, definitely you can. And before you sign off, please do like the video, share the video, and then subscribe the AKS IAS Academy. Subscribe the AKS IAS Academy, that is Advanced Knowledge Systems. Advanced Knowledge System. And then I would say a very big thank you, and then see you tomorrow again at 7:30 a.m. 7:30 a.m. And then Rahul says, why China took back step in border issues. So definitely, as I've said yesterday, I was talking about military engagement, diplomatic engagement, and also the special representatives. And also there will be a lot of pressure, because as we are going ahead with it, banning the China products, and also making sure that, Lokesh, this is my personal t.me slash Sandeep Bhushan SBT. t.me slash Sandeep Bhushan SBT is mine, and then the AKS IAS Academy telegram link is t.me slash AKS IAS Academy. And then please do visit at www.aks.ias.com, and then do not forget to like, share, and subscribe the AKS IAS Academy Advanced Knowledge System. And thank you very much. And I would say a very big thank to everyone who is in the live and in the live chat also. Very big thank you. And I would certainly make it very clear that my sessions will be definitely helpful, and it will provide you scoring more marks, higher marks in prelims as well as mains examination. I will assure you for sure. And then see you tomorrow again at 7:30 a.m. Thank you very much. And then make sure that you are sticking to your schedule, that is your timetable of preparation. Stick to your schedule, and then let there be consistency. This is very important for the success. Consistency in your preparation is very important, and please do take care of your physical health and mental health. Physical health and mental health is very important once you wanted to have success. So please do stick to your schedule, be consistent, and also take care of your physical health and mental health. And then thank you and all the best for your examinations. See you tomorrow at 7:30 a.m.